troubled by strange noises in the middle of the night.
Welcome to the SLUSH podcast, the only place on the internet where we cover Dragon Ball to baby soothers and everything in between.
So you're sick right now, so you're gonna
Yes.
sound crazy the whole time.
Yeah, I'm gonna sound a bit different. I've been sick the last few days, but I'm feeling a lot better today.
You look
Thankfully.
great, Sully.
Thank you. It's the Oak Island shirt that's doing me in right now.
Yeah, I wore my Propeller Arcade shirt today just in case.
Hey,
It was an accident with the video games. I was like, we'll do some episode on music or something, and now I'm like surrounded by video games and like movie stuff. So I don't know. Well, I feel like
Yeah.
with this episode we'll just do. I feel like some episodes should just be kind of random, and we just kind of go weird places for fun, just for a little bit. You know?
It's just a regular conversation, really.
Yeah, like we got baby chats. We'll just have regular chats. But not really. There's kind of some beat sheet thing I made here, but it's pretty out there. We were gonna talk about music originally. Cora was about to be on this actually. She was sitting right over here, and she was about to come in, and she was just so tired. She was done. Like,
Wow.
yeah, she wrote an email and just left. So R.I.P.
Oh, what?
Cora.
Oh, she was done.
Yeah, she was done.
Wow.
So okay, I'm just gonna jump into it. Wait, first of all, before you even jump into it, where it's random and you're sick and we don't really know what we're doing, just wanted to say the whole podcast slush is kind of going to be like that, I feel like, for the most part. We have some topics that we stay on, but it's kind of fun to be loosey-goosey and just go on tangents constantly. That's what I like about podcasts.
I'm gonna be sick the whole time. Oh, that's what I got off of that. Like, what?
Every episode, Sully has a new sickness.
Oh God.
Actually, it's crazy. Speaking of which, Cody Hatt showed me this new podcast, or not new, new to me, a podcast called Sick Boy, and it's just all about sicknesses. You ever heard of
yeah.
that?
I actually I've already heard his podcast. I met all the guys who did it.
Really?
Yeah. I met them in 2017.
What?
They did their movie called Sick Boy as well.
There's a movie?
Yeah.
What? So I'm guessing it's like a documentary.
Yeah, it was a documentary about one of the guy's lives, but it has to deal with his longivitis, I think it was.
Oh, yeah, okay. Crazy.
Yeah, they're really nice fellows. Gotta have a drink with them afterwards. It's pretty
What? My mind is blown.
good.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
why I was. Yeah, bizarre
Wow.
time.
That's crazy. You're a celebrity. I guess we have a celebrity on the podcast today. It's
I
Sully.
wish nobody knows. Yeah, crazy.
That's cool. Well, I mean, it sounded really cool. I like what they were talking about. I like they kind of grounded everything back into humor with serious issues. It sounded cool.
Yeah, because I feel like because obviously they even talk about it when a lot of people get like those kind of serious illnesses or disabilities. Like nobody really, everyone takes them so serious more so than ever,
Yeah,
and so they have a hard time using humor in their day-to-day life.
I get
And
that.
I got used to that since at the time like a lot of my family members were getting sick and I was going to hospital day in day out. And then when my friend got better and then he became disabled, so I was going in and out of hospitals quite a lot. And seeing how Sick Boy really did a lot of it, it's like, you know what, I'm gonna take inspiration from this, and just started incremental humor no matter the situation.
Yeah, man, yeah, that's tough to do. I know. It's a good idea for a podcast. It's neat that they're doing that because I didn't know. I read the premise like you just explained, and I was like, how is this gonna work? But then once you're listening to it, it's like pretty good. It's funny. Then you're like, oh God, that's sad. But then you laugh and you're like, oh God, that's sad. But
And
it's
that's why I got sick, guys. It's a social experiment. You
Yeah.
see how-
this is
Oh,
all
God.
geared around Sully's sickness right now. The whole thing. But yeah, see, tangent. I don't even know I was talking about that.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm just been like super hyper fixated on your like your A24 sticker on your Super Nintendo.
This one right there, right here.
Yeah, like your NES. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I got.
It's weird. I was telling Cora in this room in the basement, I could pretty much turn the camera in any direction. It's too bad. I mean, the people listening on the podcast who can't see it on YouTube, but once you turn the camera in a certain spot, it's like, ugh, there's gaps. They could have put light on it and blah, blah, blah. It's a whole thing. Um, okay, so basically today we were going to talk about music, but I'm not like I like music. I'm a huge fan of music, but I don't play an instrument. I've never played in a band. Like I couldn't tell you the first thing about how a movie is scored, but I enjoy it. Uh, what's your take on that? Like, where do you think you fit into like a music, uh, like what you know? Like, what do you know, Sully? Have you been in a band?
No, I've tried to, but no.
Really?
Yeah, but I was just not. I was just not the it guy, and
Oh,
because I did learn how to play guitar. I'm not gonna.
really? What the hell?
I learned how to play guitar in high school because it was for music class.
Oh
This is,
yeah,
yeah, I learned how to play Kryptonite by Three Doors Down.
yeah.
That's the only song I know, and
It's the
and
best thing I've heard today.
it's also probably the only thing I don't even know if I can play that anymore. To be quite honest with you,
I
so
took guitar class too in grade 9, but all we did was Stand By Me for the year. And there's only like a couple of, that's it. It was bad. Back in
man,
1999, it was rough because we had every Friday in music class, it would be like you could bring your own music in and the teacher would like judge you based off of it. And I remember this one guy brought an Eminem and the teacher just lost his mind. It was awful. He was like, "This isn't music. You kids don't know what you're doing. Play Stand By Me again." And it was the worst experience probably.
man, my music teacher was so chill. She pretty much said, "All right, here's guitar. I'll see you at the end of the semester." I was like, "What?
Wow.
What do you mean? Like, I'm just here to make sure you have an instrument and you come back to my class." I was like, "Oh, I'm just on my own." Like, yeah. Well, here's how
Wow.
you tune your guitar, and then good luck.
So
I was
they
like,
just they left it up to you to learn everything?
yeah. So I ended up teaching myself. It was a
Wow.
weird experience. So
But you
yeah,
did it.
and I would say I lost all this knowledge now. I'm not gonna say it's like 8 years gone. I haven't played guitar.
Wow. Do you have a guitar?
I no.
We have a guitar. It's hanging on our wall collecting dust. Yeah.
I, I
Cora
remember
used to play.
I remember my dad got me a piano, and
Oh.
I was so shitty at playing the piano, and I was struggling for a while, and I didn't know how to read notes. I didn't know how to read anything. Then my dad was like, "You know what? Don't worry, son. I'll help you figure this out." So he comes in, he's playing the piano with me, and he realized he also doesn't know how to read any of this. He also doesn't know how to play piano. We're both struggling to figure out how to how to make it work. And then my mom's like, "What are you guys doing?" He's like, "I'm teaching him how to play piano." "Oh, that's adorable." Walks away, and he's like, "Don't tell her I don't know how to play piano." No, 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 no. I was like, "Okay."
Dude, piano
So,
is hard, but it's so
so that
cool.
yeah. Then he went to work, and then he started studying some notes, and he learned like one note from Beethoven. And and then he came back, and he's like, "I did it." I was like, "What? What'd you do it?" "Did it, did it, did it, did it, did it." I was like, "Oh my god, Dad, you're a genius. That's it." And I was like, "Yeah, that's Beethoven." I'm like, "Oh my god, you can play piano for real."
That's crazy. I mean,
And I
piano
was
is pretty awesome. Cora wants to put Bennett in piano lessons. I feel like it's really intimidating because it's like, you know, it's like kind of like the one. Like once you know piano, you can do a lot of shit, I think, with other instruments.
I think piano is probably the most flexible instrument, if I believe, because they play a lot of tunes off of that, and then they
Yeah,
would just remix those notes
I think
and
you're
put
right.
them remix them either to sheets for other instruments or whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm just theorizing. I'm just
No, no, I
quiet.
think you're right. I was listening to the soundtrack show. I don't know if I mentioned that before on this before. Did I say before 3 times? I don't know. Point is, the soundtrack show, the podcast, is really good. That guy knows his shit inside out. And he actually has a keyboard on the show and yada yada yada, and he shows you chords and he does Ghostbusters and Goonies and Batman, the Michael Keaton movie, and Zelda. And he does like episode breakdowns of like how they actually did the soundtracks for all these shows. It's really, really interesting in video games. Um, and he actually said on one of the episodes, because he was interviewing this guy, I forget his name, but he scored Rocky 4 and the Transformers movie. and he was explaining how he learned piano as a basis for everything, and once you know that, he just jumps on a keyboard and starts like doing different stuff, and then he moves it over to the drums, and he actually said that drums were the easiest thing to learn. I don't know if that's true, but for him, he said it was the easiest, which is crazy because I don't know. I feel like drumming is really hard, but I must be wrong. I don't know.
I think he's just a prodigy. Like,
Yeah,
by the sounds of it, he makes everything sound pretty easy.
yeah.
Right?
He's like, yeah, I scored Rocky 4. It was easy. Whatever. Get this, there's
Yeah,
only like 37 minutes of a movie score in that movie. The rest of it's all pop music. Isn't that crazy?
that's actually pretty wild. How
I
long is the
know.
movie?
I don't know.
It's must been up. I mean, it's not be that crazy long considering the time. I'm gonna say like hour 20, hour 30.
I have no idea. We'll do a whole podcast on the Rocky movies. I would love to do that. I was obsessed with the Rocky movies at one point. When I was like 25 or 4, when I was around your age, I went deep into the Rocky movies, and that's when I really started to get obsessed with jogging and fitness stuff. Obviously, I don't do that anymore. But at the time, you know, yeah, that was a huge inspiration. We should
Yeah,
totally do a Rocky podcast. It would be fun. You seen them?
that I have seen them. I saw them all out of order though.
Hmm, that's
Uh,
interesting.
yeah, because my grandfather he had a bunch of these Rocky movies, and then I didn't know how to read Roman numerals, so I just
That's
so I,
hilarious.
so I just chucked in whatever three eyes, two eyes. Like, am I doing this right?
I
He's
mean,
like,
up
oh,
to a
you're
certain
closer to it.
point, you know,
Okay,
you
you're just closer to it, Gabriel. Just put it in. Just put a movie on. I'm watching. Like, oh.
at least there's a recap at the beginning of every single movie from the last movie. Uh,
Yeah, I know. It was so funny going into a sequel. It's like, I should know this. I was
yeah,
like, oh my god.
I remember watching those for the first time. I always heard about Rocky, and I didn't realize that it was like a romance movie and not an actual boxing movie. There's only like 15 minutes of boxing. Somebody timed it out in Rocky 1, um, and Rocky 2, and Rocky 3, Rocky 4. Rocky Balboa, I thought was a really good movie. Uh,
Yeah, that was the one of the last ones with
yeah.
like Stallone as Rocky still, right?
Yeah, it was right before they did Creed. Creed is really good too. And Creed 2. I haven't seen Creed 3, but I heard it's really good.
Honestly, like all the Creed movies look pretty. I've watched Creed and Creed 2 as well. I'm kind of sad I didn't watch Creed 3 in theaters at
I
all.
know. I was. If it was me a couple of years ago, I would have like been at the theater the first day it opened because I love the Rocky movies and I love the Creed movies. I don't know what happened. I'm burnt.
We watched Ant-Man instead.
Oh, really?
It was at the same time
Oh, jeez. That's the saddest thing I've heard today. Oh no.
because it both had Jonathan Majors. That's why I kept making a joke like
Oh
I don't know if
yeah.
I don't know if Ant-Man's got these, man. Like I've seen what he looks like under that cloak. Like
I forgot
Paul
about
Rudd is
that.
getting Paul Rudd's getting decked.
Oh man, that fight scene was ridiculous in Ant-Man where he's like, "I'm gonna fight you." It's like, are you really though, Paul Rudd?
Are you though?
Like, he looks great, but he's still like, 50 something. And Jonathan Majors is like pretty much at the top of his game. Isn't he like done now? Like he's done,
He
isn't he?
he's currently going through his trial right now, from what I remember.
Yeah.
I do believe he's still being backed by quite a lot of folk, but as of right now, even Marvel is dipping their toes away from just him and his character,
Yeah.
until they figure out all the allegations and stuff are either true or
Jesus.
not true. So
Man,
right now, his whole thing is like completely sidelined.
he was like right on the top of the world there briefly.
I know, right? He was doing so good. Like he actually is a good actor too. It's just, it's a shame that he may or may not be a horrible person.
I know it's always disappointing when like you open up the news and you're like, "Oh, that person's horrible." And you're like, "Can I still like the old movies? Is that a thing? Or do I feel bad about liking them?" I don't know, it's weird. Um,
That's how I feel about Kevin Spacey because I think Kevin Spacey is an amazing
I
actor.
know, he's so good. Fuck, Seven is such a good movie. But
Oh my god.
he's a terrible person. But I still like the movies. Baby Driver, that's also a great movie. You seen that?
Oh, yeah, did see Baby Driver. That came out such a terrible time because that
I
was like
know.
And then obviously nobody wanted to go see the movie because Kevin Spacey's in it now, and then it just put a bad taste in everybody's mouth.
Yeah, it's too bad. The sound,
Oh, that
that's
was
a great soundtrack too to that movie.
yeah. That movie's a musical.
Oh
It's
yeah.
good.
I love when he's dancing around and like he has like the coffees and stuff at the beginning of the movie and they have like the stuff built in. That movie is underrated, I think. It just kind of like there's some movies that come out and you're like, "Damn, nobody really got that, did they?" It's too bad.
I don't know if it was just underrated or just more like the times really, because that was during the Me Too era,
It was out
and they were
before
boycotting.
it came out before that though. Like it was still in the theaters. It was I think it was out for like a week or two and then that stuff
Uh,
happened with Kevin Spacey.
no, I just mean like the during, like because I think the
Oh.
whole Weinstein thing was happening, and any
Uh,
allegations at the time would just skyrocket, and they'll
uh,
denounce anybody. And I think they just put a lot of bad taste in people's mouths,
that
and
was a crazy time.
I think it just really hurt like people's perception of seeing actors in movies at the time. So I really just think Baby Driver just suffered because of that. I think more people would have gone on it if I mean obviously it's good that people came forward against Kevin Spacey
Dude, the
for his
lead
victims.
actor had allegations too against him.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Actually. That was a
Yeah,
while ago.
some shit happened with him too. And then he also when that was happening, when that was coming out, he had like a Steven Spielberg movie coming out at the same time. And I don't it was a West Side Story remake, which I didn't see, but apparently it's really good. I don't know. But I haven't seen it and I don't know if it did well. I haven't looked into it, but I remember that was a thing like he was in trouble too when that was coming out, so RIP. Anyway,
So
we
what's your
went completely off topic there.
yes? I'm drinking Aquafina. Don't judge me. I may look like a rich scum, but this expensive water was the only water they had. I bought all their 4 liter bottles, like their little jugs. Then I was like, damn, I really want to go through all this. And then he's like, you know what? I'll get some quick water on my way back. And then there's only Aquafina. I don't even
Uh,
like Aquafina.
I'm
It's
judging
just
you.
what it is. You know
It's
what? Good.
okay.
I'm judging myself because I'm drinking this out of spite.
It's funny that we buy water. I remember when I was a little kid and I realized that you could buy bottles of water. I thought that was hilarious. But I mean, I know there's obviously places in the world where they can't even drink their water. But I didn't know that really when I was a little kid. So the notion of it is insane. And now that Cora is like a mom and she's like making milk constantly with her body, we have like a million bottles of water everywhere because she just it's too much when the baby's with her to be able to go back upstairs and refill the thing and bring it back because she's like kind of glued down with the baby. So there's just these are everywhere in our house right now. It's crazy, dude.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's probably some hidden behind me in the video games. You just don't see them yet. But not really.
Yeah, we had a natural spring, a little natural water, spring water coming down from the mountain, so it was always fresh to drink. And so whenever we ran out of water in our hometown, we all just got buckets and buckets and buckets of it
That's
and took it
awesome.
back to our house.
I think there's
However,
one of those here too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I mainly drink water. Like I buy water. I don't drink my tap water. I don't think it's. I tasted it once, like a few times before. I just don't think it's good. I
Hmm.
like. I just tastes like it will like poison me. I don't know what it is. This is as far as I'll go with it.
Our water is a bit salty, I feel like, because there's a water softener installed. I don't know if I'm it's just because I know the water softener is installed that I think that, but like I dumped like I think 8 bags of salt into the thing. So every time I'm drinking the water out of the tap, I'm like, salty. Am I crazy or am I actually tasting that? But it's great. The water softener.
I was
So
I was gargling salt water earlier today.
really,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
that kind of Sunday.
It is that kind of Sunday. Yeah, I was really trying to like clear my throat out. I was like, oh my god, please.
Hey, apparently that works.
It did, yes.
What's your favorite genre of music?
This is really a tough one for me because I'm really in it between two genres myself. But I do really love when they blend together. But most of the time, if I were to pick, it would probably be like hip hop. I think hip hop's my favorite.
Really? Hip hop. Okay.
It
Okay.
would be shock. You'd be shocked because I don't listen to much hip hop. Whenever it is on, it's like it's my shit.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
hey, that's cool, man. I
yeah.
mean,
What about you?
I'm huge into pop music. Like, not really new pop music, but I love 80s pop. Love it. Love it. I'm always listening to it constantly. I mean, you probably noticed at work.
Okay,
Um,
I was gonna start singing Nicki Minaj for you,
well, that's the
but
thing. I like new pop too. Like, I'm not gonna not listen to Nicki Minaj. I'll listen to that. I'll throw on some Starships.
are you into Taylor Swift?
No, you know what? I remember when she started to get really big, like way
Yeah,
back.
back when she was doing country still.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and
Like,
then she did the country pop, and then
yeah, I knew her. I knew of her when she was did country, and then Kanye was like, Beyonce, the best album of all time. Like, I remember when that happened, and that was the news, and I was like, who the hell is Taylor Swift? Like, that's hilarious that that happened. Like, Kanye West is starting to be a weirdo. That was when he was really starting to go downhill and be really bizarre, like Elon Musk bizarre. Um, and
yeah.
no, I've never ever gotten into her. Every time I read the news where the Swiftie people are like taking over the world and their fandom is so big, I'm like, oh wow, Taylor Swift got really big. Like, I
You
don't
know what's
know.
weird? I don't know what it is. I maybe just because I'm paying attention to it now, but it just really feels like it came overnight. Because I already
Right?
knew about Taylor Swift, and like I already knew how popular she was. I wasn't like I knew she wasn't not famous. Like I bet she still saw those shows at the time.
Yeah,
But then after like hearing like a lot of escapades and concerts and how pricey they go and how extravagant they get, I was like, when did this happen?
I
How did she
know.
what? I was like, what is going on here?
My dad said that to me like last month. He's so funny. He watches the news so much, and we came in and we were like, "Hey, Dad," and he's like, "Who is Taylor Swift and why is she on my TV all the time?" And I'm like, "I wish I could answer that." But you're right though. She got huge. She got like Lady Gaga kind of huge quickly. I don't know how that happened, but and Lady Gaga isn't really around anymore 'cause she's been doing that Joker movie for like a year,
Yeah,
I think.
she's been being an actor and a producer, really.
Yeah, which is great because she's a fantastic actor. She was awesome in House of Gucci. You seen that?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, it's really fucked up, but it's great, and she's really good in like everything she's in actually. Yeah.
You ever watch American Horror Story with her in it?
Yes. Yeah. American Horror Story was way better than I thought it was going to be. I didn't know what to make of that. It looked kind of shitty in the previews and but I remember Henry telling me it was really good and then I just started down the path and I was shocked at how good it was.
Yeah, that was one of the series my dad pirated for us to go watch at home. It was an anthology. He was like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch season 2. You guys watch the season. Don't bother me.
And you
He
can
just-
do
he-
that because they don't really connect really, right? The seasons?
yeah, yeah, they're all anthology based,
Yeah.
which I actually really love.
Yeah, me
Uh,
too. That's the way to make a show, I think. Just don't even connect them. I like that they use the same actors too, so you don't like
it's
it's not
kind of play esque.
yeah, it's not super jarring. Like, who's that guy who played Quicksilver?
Evan
Um,
Peters, he's a great
yeah,
actor.
he's so good. I didn't even know he was in American Horror Story, and I just knew him as Quicksilver. But when I saw those, I was amazed. I heard he's really good in that Dahmer movie, but I don't really care about serial killer movies. I just am not into that stuff. I don't really
That
watch
one got
them.
a lot of flack. I'm
Oh,
not
really?
surprised though. Yeah, because obviously, like the victims' families are still alive, right?
Oh, I don't know anything about them. I'm totally sheltered from that stuff. I have no clue.
Cora isn't into true crime at all.
No.
Wow.
Cora? No.
Yeah, yeah. I just most females I know are just obsessed with true crime,
Really?
and yeah, it's a weird
Is that a
phenomenon.
hot take?
Maybe you guys
Oh,
can correct me in the comments. It just
I'm
most
sure Cody will.
like I said, most women I know. All right, just that's why I was like, I wonder if Cora's into true crime as
I
well.
mean, not that I know of, but I'll ask her tomorrow.
Yeah,
She's probably upstairs reading a true crime thing. I just don't know it.
yeah, because like there's obviously like a bunch of like the How to Make a Murderer and the documentaries and
Yeah,
things.
Netflix has a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm into true crime as well. Uh, so I do know a lot about serial killers. I also took a sociology course, and I had to study a serial killer. I had to
What are
study
you,
John Wayne
Batman?
Gacy. So I had to study and how and why he became what he was, and present why uh, aspects of his character and how the society and himself changed him to become as horrible as he was,
Jeez.
and how yeah, it was a pretty interesting thing essay I had to build up,
I don't
and
know. I,
I got a 70 on it
I love how you remember your grade. It's like you're
because
really hung up on that.
she grilled me for it, man, in front of the whole class, and she's like, "Thought you could have so
Ooh,
much better." I was like,
wow.
"Grammar's not my strong suit, all right." Anyways,
Dude, 70's not bad though. Jesus. Like
not to her,
30
man,
is bad.
not to her.
Wow. Well, we'll bring her on the next podcast. We're like, we need to know. Yeah, I don't know why. I've never really been into. I know that the serial killer true crime stuff is a huge audience and tons of people. Like probably most people are into it, but for some reason I've never been into it. It always freaks me out. Ugh, gives me the heebie-jeebies. Um, wow, all that from pop music. That's where we landed.
Oh yeah, that's crazy actually.
It's awesome. I love
Yeah.
this. Okay. Um, you're on a desert island. What's the one album you bring? Please don't say Linkin Park. No, I'm just joking. Is it?
You make me want to say it out of spite, but it isn't. Uh, I bring my Under Pressure album by Logic.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's probably my favorite album of all time.
Okay. I'll have to listen. I've never heard it.
It's Logic's first like hip hop album. It came out like in like 2013, 2014.
Okay.
This is back when he was just really getting famous everywhere. It like that's this genre of like hip hop and rap is kind of like the music I kind of really gravitate towards. I don't mind newer Logic, but he definitely like differentiates himself from that kind of era and becomes more poppy as he goes.
So
Which I didn't.
how long has he been going for?
Uh, so what's the year? Is it 2023? Most rappers start even before they get like their big debuts like that. So I imagine he was going since like 2010,
Hmm.
like 2011.
Wow, okay. And wow. I must have heard him at some point.
He was in. Yeah, you have. You almost 100% have
What's
because
his most popular song? I'm sure I must have heard it.
he's in Rick and Morty.
He's in Rick and Morty? Who does he play?
Yeah, he plays himself.
What? Oh, is that episode where
It's about a bunch of
the
superheroes.
oh, have I not seen this? Oh, I remember that episode. That's a great episode.
Yeah, and
There's so many good episodes.
they're all jamming out to Logic, dude. And then they're like,
Right.
"Oh my god, guys,
Okay,
yo, it's
okay.
such."
I remember this now. Honestly, all of the Rick and Morty stuff is pretty awesome. I haven't seen much
Yeah,
of the new stuff.
the new
Okay,
stuff is actually pretty seamless. I find.
really, I heard the voices. They sound like the same. I never would have known they switch voice actors.
Honestly, those voice actors. I mean, obviously, Rick and Morty's voice aren't hard to do.
Mm.
Like I've heard like a lot of good impressions over the years from just my friends, but like the voice actors they got for it, like damn, like you couldn't tell the difference at all.
And they have two different actors, which is really trippy. It's so
Yeah,
strange.
before it was one guy. It was just,
Yeah. I watched him like I don't know if it's real, but I watched him like doing recording sessions just getting pretty drunk and like
oh, I'm pretty sure those are real.
really.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, it's funny, but now that you know that he's kind of crazy. I mean, I assume. I don't know. We're really
Yeah.
dipping into some controversial things this episode.
Yeah,
Um,
we are like man. Yeah, but yeah, he did beat his wife. Yeah.
yeah, I heard he. We won't get into it. Because I don't know who's listening or if it's okay to talk about. I don't really know. I don't know. There's a fine
Oh,
line.
oh
Um,
yeah, no, we're going into some weird areas. Yeah.
okay, so with hip hop, it's interesting because when I was an animator, when I drove to work and back to Dartmouth every day from Truro, all we listened to were Beastie Boys every single day. And we listened to them so much eventually, because we heard all the albums. We would do the songs with each other. Me and the guy I was driving with this other animator, and it's crazy because they were a punk band before they did like rap and hip hop, which is crazy. And every couple of songs on their albums, they will stop and it's like a punk song, and it's like all a throwback to way back in the '80s when they were a punk band. Like I think it was the mid '80s. But yeah, Beastie Boys. I used to know all of their songs, and I could rap them back and forth with my friends. Um, I always had them on my list of like groups to see before I died. And so when he died, I was like, oh man, I'll never see the Beastie Boys. This sucks. And then Gorillaz were on my list, and they're still going, so I'm really hoping I see them eventually. Um, and Daft Punk, and they're never playing again either. So
Oh my god, that would really hurt my soul.
I
Dude.
know. Part of me thinks that they won't stay retired, but they only had like 4 albums ever. That's it. What are you reaching for?
Don't mind me. Yeah. So what's the album that you would bring onto?
Oh, it's
I just
totally
got hit,
random.
I just got to hit Do Not Disturb because people keep messaging me.
Oh, I didn't even
Uh,
hear anything. It's just me
yeah,
texting you. Um,
yeah. Like your
uh,
takes are horrible.
I would bring on a desert island. See, this is one thing I wanted to bring up because I feel like a lot of people on shows feel like they need to Google or learn about from books the most popular things that are considered really good. And they're like, oh, I would bring, what's a crazy album? Uh, like, what's an album everybody loves? Like, everybody in their freaking.
Hybrid Theory, baby.
Hi, what is that?
Linkin Park
Oh
first
my
album.
God.
Let's go.
No.
It's an instant classic, dude. They knew what they were doing.
Oh my
Straight
God.
heat, frosted tips,
This is my
spiky
own
hair.
fault that we've gone down this
Ah,
path, isn't it? I remember when Linkin Park. Wait, hold on a second. Okay, what was I talking about before
what
I
was
get
the
into Linkin
album you?
Park? No,
What,
I was getting to a point. The album I'm gonna say is definitely not an album everybody likes, but it's just my own personal thing because there's a couple of songs I really love. She's So Unusual, Cyndi Lauper's first album. Love it.
oh wow.
I absolutely love it. I listen to it all the time. There's a couple of songs on there where I'm like, maybe they'll just play this at my funeral,
just the
Honestly.
just the
Uh,
album playing in the background.
yeah, and it's ironic because like it has Girls Just Want to Have Fun on it, but like I always skip over that song because it's such a big song. But there's some really good tracks on there. There's one called All Through the Night, I think is really nice. I just feel like it would be in a montage of somebody's life, like you can listen to certain songs and you're like, I feel like this would be perfect in like a scene from a movie or whatever. You're gonna tie this back to Linkin Park, I know you are. Um,
Because Linkin Park fits in the greatest movie lineups ever. Transformers,
Transformers.
baby. Let's go. Morty meets the eye.
Okay, when I saw that for the first time, I remember it was in like my third year of university, and I was like, "Oh my God, there's finally a Transformers movie, like a live action one." And I remember as soon as Optimus Prime starts his speech at the end of the movie, and he's like, calling all Autobots, and it's like, is this Linkin Park? Is this Linkin Park starting with Optimus freaking Prime?
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun,
I
dun.
didn't know what to make of it, but like, it works with that time with the movie, with the audience. Like, I just missed the boat on Linkin Park, I think. I was too old. I was too old.
You say that a lot. That's excuses. You just don't like them. Just say it. Don't be afraid.
Okay, here's my hot take on Linkin Park. I don't think that they sound bad or anything like that. I just feel like I don't know, there's some groups, their style, I just don't jive with it. I'm not saying I have any style at all, but like I don't I just like if Linkin Park, if I didn't know them and they came into our work and they were like, we're shooting a music video, I would be like, these guys are douchebags. Probably. I'm sorry, but I'm
Oh,
sorry. What I don't know. Okay, what's your favorite album by them? Is it the first album?
my favorite album by them?
Yeah.
No, it isn't actually that.
Hmm.
I think it's their third album. Oh my God, let's.
I
I,
actually don't know anything about them, so
I like their later albums more. If I'm being perfectly honest, their original album, Hybrid 3, as much as I could sing all the songs off by heart, it just definitely is like from the 2000s era uh, of music. It
turn
definitely
the
sounds like.
angst up to 11,
Oh, yeah, that's when they're full angst.
which is
And when
fine. I'm not judging.
and then by the time they got into their like real groove of themselves, I find it was like in the later like in the 2010s, I thought they were really great.
Well, when did the lead singer pass away? What year was that?
I
It
think
wasn't that long ago, was
I think he may have passed away in like 2018, 2019.
it? Oh,
I could be wrong. I'm just that's very loose if I remember right, because I don't think because he obviously the lead singer unfortunately killed himself. But
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Which I mean,
Uh,
looking back now, even though I don't like Linkin Park, I'm like, it kind of makes you feel bad. I'm like, oh man, guess you were really not in a good place. Because you hear some of those bands and they're singing those types of songs where you're like, oh, they're just being angsty to like sell to this audience. But then once you know they're gone, you're like, oh Jesus, like that's
yeah,
too bad.
it really makes you because even if in his later songs, it didn't really feel like that right away. It just kind of felt like he was making tributes to like people loved ones. But then after he killed himself, it felt like a really under layer of all those last songs he put out, and it felt really weird
I could see that.
to listen to them again, and that, but knowing the connotations of that.
Yeah, they would be
Uh,
really heavy.
yeah,
I would imagine.
yeah,
See, we're
uh,
having a serious Linkin Park conversation. We're doing it.
yeah, yeah, dude, yeah. So so Cindy Lou was the one you bring.
Cyndi Lauper, yeah. But I mean, like I said, I don't know. I say that, but I don't know.
Cindy Lou's an actor. That's
I'm
like,
like, who the hell is Cindy Lou? I'm weird though. I like weird shit. Like, I don't know. I'm pretty random. I don't really care. It's good that you like Linkin Park, you know? Fuck what I think. You should like what you like. I'll stick to Cyndi Lauper. There's people listening to this are like, why am I listening to this right now? Cody Hat's gonna be like, you guys are burnt.
just spam in the chats. Just listen to Matt Lyons. Listen to Linkin Park.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'll wear a Linkin Park t-shirt on the next one. Okay. Uh, um, so for music and movies, what do you think? Okay, this is a two-parter question. What do you think the best musical score you've ever heard in a movie is? Uh, can be animated, can be a TV show, can be whatever. Um, Score, and then after that, what's your favorite soundtrack? Like a compilation of music for a movie. Um, what do you think? Anything coming to mind?
Like from being real, I'm obviously just to be biased because the James Bond movies have great thematic like songs that go into it. Even when they get like a new artist to do their opening for
That
every
is
movie,
true. I agree. Those are
the
really
James
good.
the soundtracks in James Bond movies they always slap,
Mm,
even if some of them are stinkers. Like it's amazing.
yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen the past two new ones, but like I remember Casino Royale was a really good one.
Yeah, Chris
Um,
Parnell was doing the
yeah,
intro for
that
that.
movie, honestly, Casino Royale is fucking awesome. That's my favorite James Bond movie. I really like it. Um, yeah.
That is a good one because he like he literally dies in the movie, and
Yeah.
it wasn't.
That was
Uh,
so cool. And he uses the thingies in the car, spoilers, to like save himself. Oh, and the
yeah,
dude has the fucking tear blood. Oh man.
he actually doesn't save himself. He's like getting the first aid kit
Oh
out, and then
yeah.
he's like, "All right, cool, I got it already." He's like, "All right, now Bond, all you have to do is hit the button, hits the button, hits the button. Why isn't it not working?" And he sees it's not even connected. He's like,
Oh yeah, right.
"Oh," and then he
Fuck.
just like fades out.
That movie is okay.
I also had the one weirdly enough ball torture scene.
Oh man, that scene is so good though. When he's like to the left, and you're like, man, this guy is hardcore. And then he's in the hospital after that, and you're like, oh wow, his balls are destroyed. Like, this is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
No, that movie was great. Daniel Craig was an amazing James Bond. I remember
yeah.
everyone was really worried because he looked nothing like the traditional James Bond. But he ended up, in my opinion, I thought he was the best James Bond. Like that is our James Bond. I haven't seen the Sean Connery ones. People will probably flip their shit on me for that, but yeah.
I would say the most iconic Bond is definitely Pierce Brosnan's Bond.
Yeah, he was. I like him in Goldeneye. I didn't like the other ones very much.
It's just because that was like the peak of like that was like the goofy gadgets and stuff like that.
Oh man,
Uh,
all the sequels with him were horrible. Ugh. So bad.
World's Not Enough, Die Another Day.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah. Awful. But GoldenEye is really cool. I love that movie. The game, I mean, it's like literally behind me on the N64. Uh, that's my favorite multiplayer game ever on a console. I love it so much. I've played that game way too much. Like, I don't even play it with people because we get in arguments. Remember my one friend Grant in high school just tore the cartridge right out of the fucking Nintendo 64. He was so mad because I played it so much with this guy who went on to be, I think he's something out of an engineer, but he was like so meticulous with the respawning points, like he knew them all, and he kicked my ass constantly. So then when I played with normal humans, I was really good, and I would just show up and kill everybody, like every single. They didn't even get a chance to get a weapon, so
this
my
is true.
friends stopped playing.
I played against him. This is
Oh
facts.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you grilled my shit.
Sorry.
I was like, all right, learn how to play Nintendo 64 controller again. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, I'm just continuously dying. Oh my god.
I
And then you're
forgot
like,
about
Michael, look at this. Roasted my ass.
Oh man, that was fun. I love playing GoldenEye. We should play GoldenEye. No, GoldenEye was really good. I remember when that was brand new. It was crazy. It was a good time. Um, yeah, no, those are great. Even the score for that movie is really good though. Uh, the new James Bond movies. I have to watch the new ones because I really liked Quantum of Solace was weird. And then
I,
the one after that, Skyfall, I thought was really cool.
Skyfall is like a compilation of like a bunch of Bond movies. That was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. I love how he's just like, you think, I mean, obviously we know he's not dead, but like how he's like hiding out somewhere later and he's like just drinking and hanging out with ladies on the beach. And then
Sorry,
he
I
gets
thought
called
it.
back into action. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I know what you mean, dude.
And
Yeah,
he
I
has to
think
like
down.
retrain to be James Bond.
Yeah, dude. I think down the pike has 5 movies. It's Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, and No Time to Die.
And he's done now, right?
I think he is like completely done now.
Yeah, I haven't seen the last two. Are the last two good? Have you seen them?
Spectre was all right. It does have a really cool entrance scene. It's like I've never seen a man so casually parkour without sprinting in my life. It looks you're like, how is he in a suit? What is going on here? And he just gets ready to sniper position, shoots the guy. All right, job's done. And then goes down, gets a suitcase. It's the most casual Bond thing you could ever see.
Jeez.
But overall, I would say that one is it's okay. Uh, it's nothing to blow you out of the water, but
Is
this
that
was
the newest one or is that the
no,
second last one?
this was like the second last one. This one's definitely inspired by Raid, where the action sequences definitely took
Uh,
a they upskilled how the choreography is in fight scenes. Because a Raid, if you guys don't know, is I believe this is a Chinese movie or a Hong Kong movie where it's like a police story where it's kind of like a takes an entrance of like video game level where the main cops have to go up levels to get to the main boss at the end.
okay.
And so each floor has more and more soldier like gang members that they go beat through. And the fighting and choreography is so goddamn amazing that it made like the entire industry look at that movie and be like, damn it, how do we replicate this choreography? Uh, and that's after that they did it. Even like John Wick took a lot of inspiration from it, and then James Bond took a lot of inspiration from it. Deadpool and many other action movies going forward.
I've heard it brought up so many times. I haven't seen. There's two of them, isn't there?
There's only 2 of them, yeah.
Isn't like some guys from Raid in The Force Awakens? Ain't they like a group in it? I thought they
Uh,
maybe I'm crazy. No, I think they are in it. Like I've never seen them obviously, but I'm pretty sure that they play these like dudes that run into Han Solo and they're like trying to he owes them money and I'm pretty sure, I mean, God, now maybe I'm wrong, but I think it is the guys from the movie. I'll look into it.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head,
I'm looking it up right now.
but yeah, No Time to Die was actually pretty good. I mean, like Rami Malek was the Bond villain in this one.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
he looks scary. I saw a picture of him.
yeah, he did all right as a Bond villain. I enjoyed him.
He looked. It wasn't like half his face melted or something.
Yes, and Billie Eilish actually did the main intro song to it.
They are in The Force Awakens.
Oh wow.
Yeah, isn't that weird? I remember hearing about that, and people were like, "Yep, that's them. They are literally in The Force Awakens." Here, I'll hold my screen up to the camera. Oh, I can't. The camera's across the room. That's them though. Oh, it's not gonna work.
I'll take your word for
I
it.
tried.
Yeah. But yeah, Billie Eilish at the this was the one I was really skeptical of right away because most of the time when you hear someone's doing like a new like sequence of Blonde, you're like, oh yeah, of course. And Billie Eilish at the time, she was still like upcoming, like I think she was still like just entering her 20s because she was becoming really popular as a teenager with her pop music.
I had never
And then
even heard of her until like,
she
yeah.
did the I'm a bad guy. Doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. Anyway, she was doing that kind of pop music. And she's like, oh, she got put on to do the next Bond theme. I was like, what? Billie Eilish? Okay. And then obviously since the movie got delayed because of COVID, they're like, oh no, what do we do? You know what? Let's just release a song. We owe it to the artist, and then we'll just get the movie out when we can. And then I would listen. I listen to that song quite a lot. That's like one of my favorite Billie Eilish songs, to be quite honest.
I've once I heard of her, I looked her up on Apple Music, and she seems like this is what I've gathered is she's very soft, like her singing, but she can sing very low, and I don't know how you to describe it, but she seems pretty comfortable, you know. Um, People love her. She's huge now, right?
Yeah, she's been huge for a little while now.
You're like, dude, Taylor Swift. Um, uh, right, movie scores. What about a compilation album though? Like, is there a certain movie where you like every song on it you love that's like a pop group or a rock band or hip hop? Is there any movies that ring a bell? Any
like
soundtracks?
what do you mean? It's
Like Train
song.
Spotting or like that's all bands instead of being an orchestra kind of score.
Oh, but being honest, there wasn't many movies that really like caught my eye with a lot of stuff like that until like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's a cool soundtrack.
Yeah, that one really put a focus. It also just made a running gag in a lot of movies going forward because everybody loved that.
I know. Tarantino
But
usually has really good soundtracks to his movies with some pretty wicked artists. Like Kill Bill. Holy shit.
yeah,
1 and 2. All of them, really. Pulp Fiction has a wicked soundtrack.
so
Um,
I've heard.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to
How
think
about
of
your-
a movie
how about
score. That's really tough. I don't know. I mean, you can't really listen to Star Wars over and over again because you would go mental, probably.
Duel
Um,
of Fate does go pretty hard.
I don't know. A movie score. Score. I really like Jurassic Park.
You just like John Williams. Was
Well, let me think. I'll change it then. I like
no,
the
I mean that.
Turbo Kid soundtrack. It's pretty good. The
Oh,
score.
that's good. I mean, what's the shaming you for liking John
Oh,
Williams?
there's
Like
Shane. Now I'm just checking.
he puts nothing but bangers out. Like, let's be
Fuck,
honest.
I know. He really does. I think he's won the most Oscars of anybody, isn't he? I think he
I think
has.
so actually, because he did Jaws, he did
Did
Jurassic
E.T.?
Park, E.T.,
Yeah,
Indiana
dude.
Jones, Star Wars.
I know. It's ridiculous. Alan
Like his
Silvestri is really good. He did Back to the Future, like Forrest Gump. Um, I don't know. Uh, I don't know. A score. I listen to movie scores a lot, actually. It's hard to say. I can't think. I'm on the spot. Shit. And I wrote the question down.
Yeah, I
I
know.
guess I
Crazy.
should have thought of this ahead of time. I don't know.
You mentioned Alien quite a lot.
Oh,
Alien has a Alien soundtrack really inspires quite a lot of sci-fi spooky music.
yeah. Yeah. Alien 3 is really spooky. I don't know. There's weird movies like Robot Jocks I really like the score to because there's a couple of tracks in there that are amazing because the opening of Robot Jocks is it just is like this they shot this footage to try to get Robot Jocks made and I think they ended up putting it in the movie. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes, but it's just like this desolate winter landscape, and it's like the camera's panning over it, and it's like the dead of winter, and it's like really quiet, and then this ripped off robot arm like falls into the ground, and it's all miniatures, and like it cues this amazing score, and I've always loved the score for Robot Jocks, so maybe that one. But a movie soundtrack, that's another tough one. So many. Uh, um, just looking around this room I'm in. I always really like Trainspotting. Now that we brought that up, I like the Trainspotting 2 soundtrack as well, actually. Um, but yeah, I don't know. There's so many good soundtracks. It's kind of redonkulous. Also, another good movie score, Terminator 1. It's super fucked up. It's like all synth. I think
Man,
I played the record for you.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, Terminator 1. It was also inspiration for the character design of Solid Snake in the Metal Gear series.
Oh yeah, he looks like Kyle Reese.
Yeah, because they literally stole the box art and put it on this game. Hideo Kojima doing it the best he can.
Hey, at least somebody did something more with that character, because like he was so fucking good in that movie. Um, yeah. Okay.
What's the next question, by the way?
If you were on a desert island, what's one movie you would take with you? It can only be one. It's the only thing you can watch for the rest of your life on this desert island.
Megamind. Not even doubting myself.
Never seen it.
I thought I knew you. Like, this is a great movie. This is like one of the best superhero movies of all time.
Megamind?
It stars Will Ferrell, Brad Pitt. Well, oh my God, Jonah Hill is the main. Yeah,
I'm
it's a
gonna
great
Google
movie.
this. Megamind.
Yeah, it's a DreamWorks movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh,
Okay,
uh,
Megamind, eh? How old is this?
I think it came out like 2009,
What?
2010. I could be.
Okay, I see the poster here. So that's what you're gonna take with you, eh?
I've been in this scenario before, honestly. Like the desert island thing with the movie is not uncommon to me, because way before when we lost power to our house, and then we only had like a few TVs and stuff to go around, and we only had like a CD player, and we only had like two movies. It was Megamind and Gangs of New York. And
Gangs of New York. So
those
random.
those I know.
I mean, it's a
Those
good movie though.
those the only two movies we
So
had for so
random.
long. We just switched them on repeat, and then eventually we all just said, "Screw Gangs of New York. This becomes more boring every time you watch it." And then at least Megamind has some stupid jokes. So whenever I came home from school one day, we were watching Megamind. It's like, all right, I'll sit down and watch Megamind.
Dude, Gangs of New York is like the polar opposite of that.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
That
That's
movie
why.
is like disturbing, I think.
That's why we all. I mean, at first I was like, "Oh, this is great," and eventually, I was like, I actually just hate this movie now.
I've seen
then I
it
thought
twice, that's about it. But it's
I
good.
watched,
I mean, I don't know.
I watched it too many times, and then Megamind. I thought what happened with myself with that, but I was like, damn, I think I just love this movie.
Bill the Butcher. I can't even it's funny that I'm associating this DreamWorks movie with Bill the Butcher suddenly. Like this is not right. What's happening in my brain?
How about yourself?
For a movie. See, it's tough because do you go with the feel good movie or do you go with a really fucked up movie? Because a fucked up movie you're not gonna get really bored of because it's gonna scare you forever. But I don't know. I really like Alien, the first Alien. I really like that movie. For some reason, I have seen that so many times, and it's just gotten better
Hmm.
and better and better every time. It's just such a high caliber, I think, of like everything in filmmaking. Um, like the way it looks, the way it sounds, the acting. I love Sigourney Weaver. I love space, and I love how it's just like they don't show a lot, so it's a lot of implied, and the whole ending where she just goes back for her cat. I love that all the shit that's gone down in the movie, but she's like, fuck, I forgot Jonesy. I need to go back. Like, I would do that. I would go back for my cat. I'm an idiot. I would risk my life and blow a whole spaceship up, but I'd be like, I need to get Darwin, you know? I need to get that cat. And I love that the alien just ends up in the goddamn escape pod with her still at the end of the movie after all that. Like, it's so stressful as a viewer to watch because you're like, holy fuck, like, what are you gonna do? And then she's in the closet and she's putting on the spacesuit and you're like, oh my god, she's so fucked. But then she shoots him out of the goddamn airlock. It's so good.
It
Now I
is
want
a
to watch
great movie.
Alien. But yeah, that's what
So
I would
yeah.
take.
So I'm like slap fast answers. Like, this is tough. I'm like, easiest question in my life.
Dude,
I didn't hesitate.
that's hey, you know what you like though. What's your favorite TV series of all time? I feel like you're gonna say Dragon Ball, aren't you?
So technically, if anybody like, if I want to avoid a lot of like things, I'll just say, you know what, Dragon Ball is my like, oh yeah, that's favorite show. I mean, I've watched a bit more, a lot more of it than I should have. I would say. Um, I don't think it's my favorite show though. I mean, I have watched a lot of anime. That's been. Oh, I guess, sorry for the audio listeners here. I'm trying to get comfortable, and you're hearing a bunch of scuffling here.
It's okay, you still sound pretty clear.
Yeah. Oh my god, why am I blinking at it right now? I had like the perfect picture of this show in my head, but now it's like gone.
It's just Mega Mind again.
I gotta like expand my. I would probably. So you know what? I'm just gonna go back to my. I forgot to put my sword up.
I know.
My
I didn't want to say anything.
well, the sword is from the Fate series, and it actually has some of my favorite shows. Fate Zero. A really good show. 24 episodes, short and sweet, gets to the point, gets the job done. And it was the actual anime series that actually had adults as the main characters. So it was
Huh.
really refreshing.
Yeah, I guess you don't see that much, do you?
You don't really see that much. I get it, because a lot of times anime is geared towards like teenagers, especially like in shonen. That's what it's all for. But this is the one where they took, because they were rebooting the Fate franchise with this show, Fate Zero in 2011, and then they decided, you know what, let's take this story. Like the main, technically this already was a show called Fate Stay Night, where it's based on a high schooler who gets involved in the Holy Grail War. And Fate Zero is about his dad, who years ago was actually part of it, but he was a secret assassin. It's so crazy. It's about a bunch of professionals trying to kill each other to get a wish granted device. Oh my god, yo, it's Marty.
What up?
Yo, guest appearance.
Oh, sorry. What were we talking about? Yeah. So,
Yeah, Fate Zero. It also has a stunning like English voice cast.
as they do.
As they do. The first episode is a lot for a lot of people. That's why I don't think a lot of people get into it, because it's advertised as an action series, but the first episode is nothing but like setup. But I swear to a lot of people, it adds to the story. All right, there's no action whatsoever really in the first episode. It's like an hour-long first episode, which is really unheard of in a lot of anime. I don't think there's any actual action until like last 5 minutes of the episode.
Really?
A lot of it introducing all of the contestants who got stuck in the Holy Grail War, and it shows you each individual person's reasoning and why they should win and how they're gonna get their means to the end of getting this wish granted device. I mean, it isn't just like from people around the area. There's people from Europe. There's people from like UK, Germany, people from Japan, people from America. They're all gathered together in Japan to get this wish granting device.
What year is that? When was
It
that
came out.
made?
It was by a studio called Ufotable in 2011.
Oh, so it was a while back. It sounds so weird. That was like 13 years ago. Isn't that strange?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's so weird, dude.
How
Sorry.
about yourself?
Oops. Sorry, my baby monitor's battery just died. It's okay, Cora's up there with Ben anyways. I just have it just in case. Spaced. Spaced. Have I ever mentioned Spaced to you before?
Maybe actually. I just
Spaced is really good. It has nothing to do with space.
Oh,
It's like-
based.
No,
I think it's.
Spaced. Yeah, SPACED.
Oh, okay. Now I got it mixed up twice. Actually, not you said space, but then it's like, guys, I'm based, and I was like, what? I like BASED. I was like, what's going on here?
We should make that show. No, Space is good. The Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg did it. It's like their first thing I think they did together. The guys who did Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. Um, they did it before Shaun of the Dead. I think it was in the year 99 or 2000. Um, I forget the girl's name, but it was the three of them writing the show. And Space is all about, it's 2 seasons, like you said, it's short and sweet. I think it's under 20 episodes, the whole thing. And I think I could be wrong. But yeah, it's just about a group of friends who like share an apartment together in the UK, and they like get drunk and get high and play video games, and one of them draws comic books, and one of them's just unemployed, but she's a writer, and it's crazy. They have an artist living in their basement, and it's my favorite show I've of all time. I've rewatched it so many times. And it's like kind of the genesis of the whole Shaun of the Dead humor. So it's very quick and really funny, and it has all of the actors in it that show up in his movies later. So yeah, it's kind of like just like fucking awesome. If anybody hasn't seen it, check out Spaced. That's my PSA for the day.
But the short and sweet stuff is where it's at, man. To be perfectly
I
honest.
think it is like, as much as I like Clone Wars and I like really long shows, like people love Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones. That is, there's like this trend
I mean,
of having really fucking long shows. I don't know what's going on.
Breaking Bad isn't as long as the other ones though.
Oh, how long is Breaking Bad?
It's like 5 seasons.
Oh, really? How many episodes there?
I know the first season has like 8 episodes, but
Oh,
I think
that's
it
not that
ranges.
bad.
Yeah,
I've never seen
pretty-
it, so fuck. Maybe I'll have to see it. We'll do an episode about it.
yeah,
Actually, I did watch the ending of the last episode, and people were really pissed, but I did it on purpose.
yeah. That was a series I thought was pretty quick. I thought even rewatching it because it was like compared to how I thought it. I thought it was such a slow burner for a show, but after rewatching the first season, it was like, damn, this kicks in high gear like immediately, and it just doesn't stop for a little. I mean, kind of pedals a while, but then keeps going right away. I was like, wow.
I grew up watching Malcolm in the Middle, so I always see him as the dad from Malcolm in the Middle.
I did too. That was what really threw me off. I was like, and that's why I didn't even bother with Breaking Bad till like in my 20s. I was like, what? I'm not gonna watch this. It's just so weird. I can't stop him seeing from being that goofy dad
Oh
who's
man,
just trying, who's bribing his kids with like money for so he can like take their faults of his thing. Like,
I
like, oh
haven't.
shit.
I'll have to see the show. I mean, I don't know. There's so many other things I want to watch though. I don't know if I'll ever get to it. You can comment below, Cody, if you're a big Breaking Bad fan. I know you're listening. Uh, okay, here's a random one. What was the best, most satisfying movie experience in like the cinema you've ever had? What do you think?
Best, most satisfying experience.
Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of random, but it's a
hmm.
random episode of this show. Hmm.
Um, most satisfying experience of a cinema. It's really hard to say. I have a few toss-ups, but none. So I talk about like the like in the Marvel episode with my experience with Infinity War. How I took my friend out to go see it, and it was to light him up, and then it just became the most saddest ending possible for our heroes. And then it was like, damn.
So
I thought
sorry.
that movie was still great, even not getting spoiled on it. That was a great experience for it. Um,
I no, that was a really good one. That was pretty monumental, I think, for a lot of people. It's huge.
I think probably actually. Oh my god! You know what? I know it now. There's an anime movie called Konosuba, and I was legit the only person in this theater. Oh, oh, that was toasty. First, I looked at my seat number. I was like, I'm not gonna fucking sit there. I'm gonna sit right in the middle here. Take this whole theater to myself. Yes. Oh my god!
That
I
was peak
spread my
cinema.
legs. I can just be as loud as I want. Check my phone. Enjoy the movie. Oh, oh my god!
Wow.
Anyway,
I'll have to look up this movie. Jesus.
it's like the one movie where it's like ties into the actual show too. So it's like, yes,
Oh. How long ago
great.
was that?
This was like in 2021, 2022.
Jeez. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm old and
2021.
crazy.
Yeah. I
That
don't know if I
wasn't even that
recommend it
long
showing you.
ago.
No, it wasn't. I went on my own.
Wow. I
Because
love seeing movies by myself. It's so nice.
I was like, who can I go to see this? Like, you know what? Screw everybody else. I don't care. I'm just gonna go in there because this movie is leaving in like 2 days. If I don't go, I'll regret it. Because anime movies like this don't ever get put in theaters. I'm just gonna go do it.
Was
And I
it at
got in
Park
there.
Lane?
It was at Park Lane.
Yeah, man, they play a lot of anime there. I took my niece to see Nausicaa there, and yeah, it was fucking awesome. It was really cool. I love that they play those movies there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're lucky.
Yeah,
Because I don't think
honestly,
they would play anywhere else here.
yeah, I know. It's really weird.
Yeah, they
I
don't
know
usually play them.
there was a theater. I think in Antigonish. I could be wrong. I think because there was a single theater where only had like one room as a theater, and they always advertise it as such. And
Uh,
I think it might have shut down very recently. Like I think by the time like theaters died out in like COVID times,
yeah,
I
that
think it couldn't
sucked.
run it.
Although
But
movies were only $2, it was wicked at the time.
it was really weird because it's only like you can only show one movie at a time for a few weeks on end.
When I trained at
So
the movie theater in Truro, we only had 3 screens. Now I think
yeah,
there's 7 here.
yeah. It was only one screen, and it was the only one for a good while
Hmm.
around. It was
Like the
bizarre.
Oxford. Did you ever go to the Oxford Theater when it was open?
No, no,
It was
I
awesome.
have not.
So cool. Actually, that's where my answer is. My favorite cinema experience was at the Oxford Theater. It was a single screen, and it was the movie Pontypool. I had no idea what it was about. They shot it in Toronto. I think Whites did it actually. Um,
Oh wow.
yeah, it's one of the first movies I think shot with a digital camera, the red one. Um, but yeah, that movie absolutely scared the bejesus out of me. Like that was a scary fucking movie. And they describe the horror because the whole thing takes place inside of like a radio studio. So you just have people phoning in and talking about what's happening. And these like radio folks are in a lockdown in the basement of this church where they're doing the radio show. And it's a big snowstorm outside too. And so you never actually see what's happening outside. You only get it described to you from people calling in and like the weather guy checking the weather. And I don't know why, but it just was haunting. It was so good. Um, I was really happy to find out that was a Canadian movie. But yeah, Pontypool. What was the worst cinema experience you've ever had? Ever?
Insidious. What was it? The Last Door. Oh, now without doubt in my mind, I remember never going to a movie and felt like, man, I never felt that was a scam. My money was ripped away from me. It was so funny because at the time I went with two of my college buddies, and we were like, you know what, we're studying film. We haven't watched movies in so long. We haven't watched a horror movie. Let's go watch the newest horror movie out right now. It's like, you know what, fine. All right, let's go. What's the horror movie out? Insidious. I never even liked the first one. Whatever, we'll watch it. And turns out you only need to watch the freaking first one because it's like the third, fourth one in the series.
There's a bunch of them now, right?
And guess what? This one still takes place in the exact same area, just behind the boy's perspective, which I thought we already did, but I guess we didn't. And it's about him being stuck in the spiritual world, trying to get these keys from this guy with fingers for keys.
What?
Oh my god. I wasn't even scared. I was just annoyed. I was jump scared because I saw it coming a mile away.
So sorry.
And I remember just looking at the screen, waiting, look at my watch. It's like I would look around, look at my phone, trying to like play Tetris. I was pretty fan of Tetris at the time. And my friend was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" Like, I'm bored, bro. Like, I don't care for this movie.
That's the worst when you're paying to see the movie, and it's so expensive now too.
Yeah, and then as soon as we left, and he was like, "Yo, that was pretty good, right?" And I was like, "No, what are you talking about? That was the worst movie I've ever seen in my life."
Wow.
Like, whoa, Sully, you're coming in hot. It's like, no, I'm not coming in hot enough. The movie was horrible.
You're like,
Don't watch
we haven't
Insidious.
talked since.
Yeah. Anyways,
I
that was
don't
my
know.
worst experience.
I don't know if I saw Monster Hunter in the theater. That was pretty bad.
Oh, that's so
I
sorry.
know, it was during the pandemic and like no new movies were coming out. That was one of the only new movies. And I was like, director of Resident Evil did this. I know. And he did
Isn't he?
AVP. Fuck, I hate AVP. I love Aliens versus Predator. The games, the comic books. I hate those fucking movies. Like, I don't even know how they did those so wrong, but they did. Um, but I think the
And you're
worst. What?
and I think his worst offender that he touched was Resident Evil series. What the heck
I
was he
know.
going on?
I
What the
know.
heck?
I
What
don't know,
even way?
man. Those
Not even.
movies, fuck. Even
Oh,
Resident Evil 2, it's like so. I remember seeing Resident Evil 2 in the theater and just being like, why the hell? Why did they even make this movie? Although, I have a soft spot for Resident Evil Retribution because it's so backward ass ridiculous out of nowhere. Just slow motion, stupid, looks very pretty, but piece of shit movie. But for some reason, there's a soft spot in my heart for it. Did you know the first Resident Evil movie, James Cameron said was his guilty pleasure and he loves it?
I
Fucking
mean,
guy who did Terminator.
if I'm being honest, I actually like the first one quite a lot.
It's okay. Come on.
Like it was just great as a movie as it was. I mean, what it was trying to do something, then because it was at least original in the Resident Evil story,
That's
right?
true. I'll give it that. I think it is
Yeah,
probably the best one out of all the movies, that's for sure. Out of any
yeah,
movie that they've made so far for Resident Evil. They just keep
yeah,
fucking those up.
yeah. But that was really weird. It was like the second one. I was like, oh, there's like I guess they had like complaints that there wasn't enough like the game characters in it. Oh shit, let's put the game characters in it. Then they killed off a bunch of them, and then like, oh shit, I don't know where we're going with this. Let's put them in the desert.
Oh
Where
my god.
then it just became
Oh
Mad
yeah, the
Max.
desert. I
And
remember
then
that.
she lights up a bunch of crows
Yeah,
with her
because she
freaking
uses the
mind.
force.
Yeah, sorry about it. Yeah,
Um,
and then I think the next one's Retribution after that though.
I
Remember
like
right?
Retribution because it doesn't make any sense. I don't know what the
I,
hell was going on.
I think all of them after Extinction just become fun bad movies.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think they embraced it at that point.
Yeah, I think
Um,
they really did, and I was like, you know what? I'll be all for this. The fight scenes are pretty ridiculous. None of it makes sense.
but
Wesker gets killed by a
oh
door. What's
yeah,
going
right. I
on here?
remember him.
That was
Uh,
he like kicks her ass and it dies the most anticlimactic way possible.
the only thing about the Resident Evil movies I think they actually nailed was the actress who plays Jill Valentine in the second movie looks like a video game character. She looks like Jill Valentine. It was really weird. I remember watching that and being like, wow, that looks like, for some reason, to me, like she's Jill Valentine. But then Mila Jovovich is in it again, and you're like, why is this Alice character back? And she has one pant leg ripped off. It's so bad.
Yeah, like
Oh,
why are you here? And then like I remember in Extinction they had a character. They don't say his name for the longest time, but he looks like Chris Redfield, talks like Chris Redfield, dresses like Chris Redfield. Like, oh, that must be Chris Redfield. And he's like, yo, my name is like Tucker or something. Then he
Tucker.
dies, solemn death, and then
Such a Resident Evil sequel
he
name.
he sacrifices himself for the greater good, whatever the fuck, whatever. He dies in vain, anyways. Uh,
We should do a podcast on the Resident Evil movies because those would be hilarious to do.
and then like when they showed the real Resident Evil guy, it's Chris Redfield is played by the guy from Prison Break, and I was so thrown off because I was like, what? I I never would have saw this in my life. Like,
I feel like we should definitely do a podcast on this. I don't know. Did I already say mine? I can't remember. Worst cinema experience? No.
yeah, I said mine was Insidious, and I don't remember what you said was yours.
I don't think I said mine. But
Oh, you said Monster Hunter, actually.
oh, I was going to say Monster Hunter, but the worst one I think was Aeon Flux, the live action one. It's so shitty. Ugh.
Oh my god,
I
I remember
left
that
the
movie.
theater. I was like, that's the only time I've left the theater in my life. Just walked out. Didn't want to see it. Terrible. Mistake.
Uh, I
That's
think
my
the
story.
only theater I walked out of was the new remake.
The first one?
Yeah, with the one that's has like some of the Stranger Kids in it. Stranger
Yeah, like
Things
It
kid,
Chapter 1 or It Chapter 2?
chapter one.
That's a great movie. Are you
Oh,
insane?
it is a good movie. I didn't walk out on my own. Like
Oh.
I was watching that movie and then like I got like the angriest text in my life, and I was like, if I don't solve this right now, I am in deep shit by the time I come back. So like I think I'm just gonna walk out of this theater
Oh, that's
and
so
solve
sad.
this. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is huge. I gotta go.
Oh my
Like,
god. I'm
I don't
afraid
think
to
I can watch.
ask.
Yeah, I was like, how much is left in this movie? I don't want to find out. I'm just gonna go solve
Have you ever
it. So,
seen the movie since?
um, I did see the ending afterwards.
Oh
Yeah,
my god. That movie's so good. I watched it the other day. I thought it was
yeah,
really
but
good.
I've only watched like the first half and the last half separately. I
Oh
haven't watched the full
man,
movie.
that's too bad. I remember when I saw that in the theater, I was with Cora and Mark Kenny and I think Pat. I can't remember. And we liked it so much that we bought tickets for the next day while we were leaving. And we watched it again because we were like, was that as good as we all thought it was? And I love that movie. I don't like Chapter 2 that much. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't think a lot of people did.
Yeah, I like the kids. Like the kids are where it's at. And you know, I think the director of that is doing The Flash, right? Isn't it the same director?
The Flash?
Yeah, I think he did the new Flash movie. I haven't seen it, but you know,
Oh,
it's
that's
Andy
unfortunate.
something. Have you seen it?
Oh, if it's the new Flash I'm thinking of, I just know it didn't do very well at all.
Yeah, I know Michael Keaton came back for it, but that's pretty much all I know. And that the Flash actor is insane.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like a bag of cats thrown at a tree.
Ezra Miller.
Yeah. Oh boy. Look, we did a full circle back to controversial things about actors.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh my God.
I've watched another
Yeah.
podcast where they were afraid to even review the movie. One guy refused to even watch it because he was like, no, that guy is fucked. He's kidnapping people and stuff. So,
Yeah, he was just playing life like GTA. He was just beating random people up. It was weird.
oh my God.
I remember him showing like he was recording himself. No, there's a guy recording himself. He's like, "Oh my God, guys, it's Ezra Miller. He's the Flash." He's like, "Yo, can I get like get by me on a video?" He's like, "Yeah, no problem, no problem." Then he just like stops, stares at him, and looks at his camera. He's like, and then turns right at him. You know, I could kick your ass right here, right now. You know that, right? And the guy's like, yeah, that's so funny. Yeah. Anyways, cheese. Then thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. And then
That's
he just
fucked
walks
up.
away. It was so
Oh
weird.
boy. And now his
And then
career is
now,
probably over. I mean, I think it is.
it's a
Pretty sure it is.
should
You never know. I mean,
like,
it's hard to say. Robert Downey Jr., I remember when I was younger, his like whole life was screwed. I remember watching the news and he like woke up in his neighbor's child's bed because he was so drunk and on drugs he didn't know which house he snuck back into. And he became Iron Man and he's like a huge actor. Like so I don't know. You never know.
true that. But you know, Ezra Miller just kind of just beat the fuck out of people.
I know. I don't know much about Ezra Miller, but I do know that he's crazy, which is too bad because from what I saw of him in movies, like he seemed like a really energetic like actor. Like he seemed like he was trying, but he
Yeah,
went fucking
because
crazy.
the only movies I know he's really in, I know he's probably in other ones, but I remember him being in the kind of the prequel Harry Potter movies,
Really?
and then yeah,
Oh, right.
he's one of the
Fantastic Beasts. I've never seen them.
Fantastic Beasts. That's kind of the most consistent Harry Potter series I've watched.
I'm
To be
surprised they
honest,
haven't done more, but I think that the J.K. Rowling's author is also fucking crazy from what I've been reading.
I think they still continued it for quite a while, because I think the biggest thing they actually had to go over at the time, because in Fantastic Beasts one, they had revealed that like the main villain is actually Johnny Depp, and then the main villain obviously being Johnny Depp had to change because of the discourse that happened with him and Amber Heard,
Oh,
more
yes.
celebrity controversy.
They're making a movie right now about it.
Yeah, which is which is so weird. Like, yeah,
I just need
and
one more
then
Pirates movie, Sully.
and it was so weird because like, I know, and it's so weird looking at like in Fantastic Beasts because the reveal at the end of Fantastic Beasts one as Johnny Depp being the whole evil villain the entire time was actually really disappointing because he made himself look really goofy in the movie. I thought Colin Farrell, if he was the main villain in the whole movie, I would have been completely okay with it. But then he's like, no, it's Johnny Depp. I was like,
I
this is weird.
know. I mean, I haven't seen them, but I remember watching the trailers and posters, and he had like the white contact lens and stuff in.
Yeah, it just looks like this is not right.
Yeah, I don't know.
However, going back to even James Bond, I love Mads Mikkelsen and everything he does. I think like whatever movie he's in, he'd do the best goddamn thing he can do because he became the new main villain, replacing Johnny Depp.
Oh, he did?
Oh yeah, it was great. I was like, who are they gonna get? It can't be worse. Maybe just call Pearl back. It's like Mads Mikkelsen. Like yes.
Yeah, he is really good. He always just
However,
looks scary.
the movies were bad afterwards.
I'm so sorry, Sully. I haven't seen anything Harry Potter in such a long time. That's another thing. I was too old when it came out. Remember in
I didn't. Go
Yeah.
on.
No, I got nothing. I just missed the boat on them.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't really care much for Harry Potter in general, but my family was watching Fantastic Beasts, and that's what kind of like how I watch a lot of my Harry Potter stuff. So we watched Fantastic Beasts, like, oh, that was a weird movie. I wonder why they ended it like that. So that was weird. And the second one was like, oh my God, it's Matt Mickelson. I was like, oh, where's this story going? Oh, then the third movie, I'm like, I thought they were kidding. No, they really went there. All
Yeah,
right.
I think people just want the original cast back, but I don't think it's ever gonna happen.
However, with the prequel movies, they kind of put themselves in the same position as like the X-Men. You know, when they look at like the time gap between how old like Patrick Stewart's supposed to become before he becomes a professor.
Yeah.
When you look at like James McAvoy, Patrick Stewart, the gap is like 12 years. And like, how does he age this fast in 12 years? That's not possible.
Hugh McGregor has the same problem. He's supposed to go from looking like Hugh McGregor to like, Alec Guinness. It's like the Tatooine suns must be pretty harsh, man.
Yeah, what's his face? Oh my God, he's a famous British actor. Oh, why am I blanking on him right now?
Jude Law,
Jude Law, yes.
who's
'Cause
also in Star Wars now.
He plays Dumbledore, young Dumbledore.
Yeah.
And then he's supposed to go like the crazy old Dumbledore and like the Hogwarts. And then whatever.
I did notice that in those. I was like, that's a little far stretched, but whatever. Jude Law is great though. He's so good. Existence movie's crazy. We're running into overtime. We're gonna have to end our podcast. I'm so sorry. You need to go to sleep and get better, Sully.
Yeah, thank you. I will try.
I don't even know what we're gonna talk about on the next one, but this was fun. It was a random ass episode. Sometimes it's fun just to go down the rabbit holes and see what's up. Then we learn about Linkin Park and Cyndi Lauper. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, and celebrity controversies. I was like,
Celebrity controversies.
we just kept going back to that. That was so wild. But yeah.
Honestly,
Anyway.
it's kind of peppered throughout everything now, so it's almost like impossible to avoid.
It is hard to ignore, especially when you look at connotation of things.
I know.
Anyways,
But you know who doesn't have any controversies around them? Sigourney Weaver. She's just great.
you know who also doesn't have any? Slush Podcast. Yo!
Yeah.
Episode 8. What
We
are we
should-
titling this episode?
We should start a cult though, and then we can have some controversy, or like maybe kidnap somebody's pet. You know.
Oh, we can go full like Jared Leto. Start a band, get a cult going. I'll grow my hair out again.
Done.
Great.
I'll climb a building. Because
30
he did
Seconds to
that
Mars,
recently.
maybe. Oh yeah, he did it.
I know. He's so weird.
Just like a fursuit into the gala.
Oh, dude, I know that was weird. He's doing the new Tron movie, so I'm like, ugh. My hopes are
just so
so
weird.
diminished there. I don't know about that.
He's just went fully morbid, dude.
I know. On that note, thanks for tuning in. As Sully would say, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. If you want. I mean, we're talking about stupid shit. You don't have to.
Do it.
Oh,
Hit the like
okay.
and subscribe button.
Oh, wow.
We're on Spotify up in this area, and then we're up on Apple TV. I think I'm pointing at the right areas.
I don't know.
Remember to check us out.